Welcome to This Week in Guns, a podcast that covers the latest commentary on firearms industry news, information, and buzz. Brought to you by the Firearms Radio Network. I'm your host, Jake Challen from Gun Guy Radio. Brownells helps make this show possible. Selection, service, satisfaction. Find it all at Brownells. Please visit thisweekinguns.com/Brownells to shop with our affiliate link. So we have our all-star panelists returning, starting off with Natalie Foster from Girls Guide to Guns. Hey, Natalie.
Hey, Jake. How are you?
Doing great.
The audience just needs to know that there's a lot that goes on pre-show that is hilarious. And so if we're all laughing in anticipation of our names being read, that's why. That's why.
I'm just glad everyone stopped writing their own bio in the.
Now you just reminded me I need to do that again.
Yeah, I know. I literally was about to be like, mutant type.
Why would I mute?
And also, Josh Cast, Whitey from Four Guys Guns. Hey, Josh.
Hey, Jake. Pleasure to be here. Thanks again for having us.
And returning King of Awesome at the I'm with Cass YouTube channel, John Cass.
Hi, Jake. I just snuck that in. It was awesome. That's right. I'm the king of everything awesome. It's really like a combination of dictatorship, presidency, and being a king. It's a glorious thing.
You're like the North Korea of awesome.
No, I was like
the North Korea of awesome. Thank you. Count it. Show's over. Everybody go home.
They called. They want Jake to stop.
Just don't put any question marks after my name, because I read everything the teleprompter says.
Excellent.
All right. Well, let's get right into the top stories. I guess first a quick announcement. No show next week. Merry Christmas. And yeah, I'm gonna take off next week because of the holiday season. You guys looking forward to Christmas?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I can't wait.
You should just run a 30-minute show of the sound of wrapping paper.
Either that or just go to like Kmart and record the Salvation Army guy jingling the bells for an hour.
Yeah, it's just
Ching, ching,
hey
ching,
guys.
ching, ching. Hey,
Firearms Radio Network.
Merry Christmas. Ching, ching, ching. Either that or the after show is just us singing Christmas carols for half an hour.
I'll just be in the background talking about ripping and tearing. No. Okay.
No. All right, moving on.
All right, moving on. Top stories this week. After recount, McSally wins Gabby Gifford's former congressional seat. So this was up for lengthy recall here after these past elections, where this webpage takes forever to load. And Martha McSally, who is actually the first woman fighter pilot, is that right?
America's first female combat pilot.
Combat pilot, yep.
What a badass! I love that.
Isn't that awesome? She beat out Representative Ron Barber by only 167 votes.
That's awesome.
So amazing.
That's great.
Yeah. So after Gabby Giffords had the tragedy happen back in 2011 during a political event. That's when Ron Barber basically took over that seat. He was voted in a full term in 2012, I believe. But yeah, now he's out, and McSally, she is very pro-gun, has that seat. So now we have another solid pro-gun seat in Congress. So
what's really cool about that is to see that Arizona did not kind of lose their minds when something tragic happened to someone in a position of power.
Mm-hmm.
They stayed the course, and even the race before this one back in 2012 was apparently a fairly tight race as well. So they definitely are showing why our country's so great. Like they made sure that they went out and voted, and in this case, I think somebody better potentially won.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go
Go ahead.
No.
Well, I was just going to say it is cool. I think that's a great point. And Arizona is a really obviously great gun state with Ruger and Gunsight and so many other awesome gun features really there.
Constitutional carry.
Say again. Oh yeah.
Constitutional carry. Yeah.
Yeah, but that happens to be a really liberal district, right? And so it's pretty fascinating to see that clash. And I'm really excited that she won. Plus she's a pro-gun female. It's just so exciting and really moves the ball forward on a lot of levels, Plus she's a fighter pilot. That's just awesome. What did she fly?
She flew the most badass thing anyone could ever fly. The A-10 Thunderbolt 2. Yep, that's the Warthog. So
yeah,
listen,
the Warthog. Okay, right.
How has she not won? I mean, if I made her like campaign videos, it would just be a strafing run with emphasis on the vote now, and like that'd be it. I mean, this should give Gabby plenty of time to kind of rekindle her love affair with firearms and kind of go right down the road of regression, and her health will probably improve. I mean, even Kyle believed that firearms could be a soothing and recuperatory experience. So good for her.
Well, I think that's really interesting, actually, that you say that about Gabby Giffords, because let's take a moment and revisit everything that happened to her, because I think she was actually victimized twice. Of course, she was shot in the head and recovered, which says so much about her strength and just as a human. Like, it's pretty freaking impressive. But then you get this hardcore lobby. I mean, she's the poster child, right, for anti-gun anything. And, she got a lot of pressure. And after a while, I mean, I don't know how you could not cave to that kind of thing when she's under that much pressure, too. So a woman who was always, she wasn't necessarily pro-gun, but she certainly wasn't anti-gun. And then she's over with Bloomberg and Moms Demand Action. I mean, and she's got her own pack, so... but then Mark Kelly goes and tries to buy an AR, under a false. I mean, that whole thing was so ridiculous because they're not. I really think that they're not anti-gun people, but they're getting all this political pressure and they just have to acquiesce.
Remember that whole BS with her husband when he's like an astronaut, right?
Freaking it was, yeah.
And then there's pictures of her holding her AR at the teenage target image that circulated around for a bit. If you want to go down the politics road, the part that kind of drives me nuts is that she could be a congresswoman. She got shot in the head, recovered, and handled congresswoman duties via writing on notes and stuff she thought long and hard about. But Hillary whacks her head from like fainting, and she's like out of the presidential running, which I think is hilarious because it's like, well, she got shot in the head. She's a gun lady.
Well, let's just not complain. Let's not complain about small gifts.
Oh no, I'm absolutely not like, oh man, I really had my hopes up for Hillary. I did it first. Mark the time, Jake. Mark the time. I'm done. Next segment.
Atrocious. Next article.
Moving on. Despite Sydney's gun control, gunman holds hostages for 16 hours. And I have an accompanying article here from the Truth About Guns. It's titled, Sydney Siege Gunman's Firearm Was Illegal Despite PM Abbott's Assertions.
So wait. You're saying that when there's a gun law and they say you can't have them, people can still get them? Is that true?
Sounds like Chicago.
Right. Welcome to Los Angeles.
I mean, really, there's a law, though, so... They really shouldn't be able to get a hold of this. I mean, that whole country is chastised with guns, but somehow, some way, the people that are breaking laws are still getting... Wow, that is just amazing.
No. Guns are bad until we don't like that person. Then we call the people that we say are okay to have the guns.
Oh, okay.
Had the guns that shouldn't have had them. So due process is just writing out of the question. It's just like, we don't like it. We're just going to ugly until we need to call their ugly to come take care of it, and then it all goes away.
I feel bad for other countries that don't have the glorious United States Constitution. That they don't have things like the Second Amendment, and that sucks. That's just awful for them. But I'm glad that this situation finally did get resolved. I saw a little bit about it while I was out and about doing what I do, and I mean, this is it's a bad situation you never like to see people get caught up in.
I'm not going to lie. This whole story pissed me off that entire day.
Yeah.
Because I literally saw it and I was like, oh, Jake's going to have this on the show. But then I also saw it again in 15 minutes. I saw it again in 45 minutes. I saw it again in an hour. I saw it on the next segment of the next news show. And I was like, what is actually happening in the United States where somebody doing something stupid and jihadi in Australia is overriding? I don't care about the chocolate factory that just got hijacked by frickin'. Listen.
Wait, this was a chocolate factory? The game has just changed.
It was like a cafe or some chocolatier.
Yeah.
It was some dude. It was the local Starbucks on your corner that just got hijacked by Islamist, militant, whatever. And like this was on the news all day. So what actually happened that day? That's what I want to know.
Well, that's
That's
a
how
really good
important
point.
this story wasn't for me.
I think Obama created new diplomatic ties with Cuba, with dictators. I think that's what happened that day.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. So nobody wants to talk about that because that was kind of stupid. So we don't want to make him look worse than he already does.
Side note: is Ebola still a thing?
Yeah, no.
Well, it is in Africa, but we don't care about that.
Speaking of Cuba,
Did you
Well,
just
we-
have a cigar? Was that what that was?
no, it's not from
Oh,
Cuba.
cha.
Oh.
So should we talk about palm pistols, like an
can.
actual palm fired pistol that you squeeze to fire?
What?
Oh yeah, well they used to have those back in the day in like Old West, when in the gambling,
Which was
Like-
a Wednesday.
which was a Wednesday, and I think they're kind of cool, but I really don't see how they're safe.
That's like a stress ball that actually has a horrible,
Like a
horrible
lethal stress ball.
idea.
Yeah,
Somebody else go.
well, the Truth About Guns describes it as looking like an inhaler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, for women and seniors,
don't
is like
squeeze that one.
a little insulting.
Right,
What's
that's their advertising.
This drives me crazy. Can I?
Self-defense handgun for women and seniors.
Okay, little tangent, but this kind of thing drives me absolutely nuts. And I think it was you, Whitey, the other day that said that if you can drive a car, you can operate a semi-automatic pistol. And I'm the condescension that is still so rampant. It drives me absolutely nuts because women are perfectly capable of handling. I mean, really, I have to. What is that? What is that? That's ridiculous.
But Natalie, it will be
Nothing.
cerakoted in shimmer gold.
Yes.
Well, now that's a whole different ballgame.
So, get this, it has a 0 bore axis, according to their literature. It says it eliminates muzzle rise during firing and directs recoil forces directly into the
Into the
palm.
person's hand, exactly. So how is that better again?
It can be fired. It can be fired using the thumb or a combination of other fingers.
I don't even know what that means.
Okay.
Also, how many rounds does it hold?
Once.
38 special, 1 round.
Again, I really need 1 round when a, I don't know, 6'5" dude who's 330 and on something is running straight at me. It's probably going to take more than 1.
Well, that's why you need to dual wield them and have two.
Well,
Nice. And you got 2 shots.
It's like the
Then you got 2 misplaced shots. Let's be honest. There is no sight. We're not talking about accurate fire here. This
Makes
is.
for a stellar uppercut, though.
I mean, honestly, wow.
I'd rather have
next level uppercut.
Yeah.
These things were originally designed
have my
for
brain.
close quarters combat. Like you stick it in somebody's gut and you squeeze, and hopefully they drop on the ground and you run away. This is not something that's designed to end a threat, which is what people need. This, and especially that marketing to women and seniors, that kind of stuff drives me crazy because it drags our entire industry backwards into what it used to be, and I want to see it move forward. I want to see this kind of crap go away. We need to treat people as people and shooters. You know what I mean? Like, what? Why
That was
are we
me.
trying to go to that? There was an internet high five? Is that what that was?
That was me giving you an internet high five, yeah.
I
Wait,
mean,
John, you obviously didn't read the key features of this thing. Let me go through them.
all right, let's hear him.
Sell me.
Okay, so it uses thumb instead of the index finger to fire. So maybe you lost your index finger, maybe you can't, maybe you have a disability there. Designed for the LaserLight subcompact V4 laser sight. So get that laser sight on your palm pistol. Spring-loaded trigger covers, loaded chamber indicator, striker indicator, disengaged sear block, striker safety block, latch safety, lots of safeties, hand guard. Is that the palm thing? What's the hand guard? Grip assist ramp, easy breach access and loading, dual independently operable grip safeties, discrete concealment, ATF classified as a standard pistol made in USA, optional Picatinny rail, optional thread protector, and optional strike bezel.
Yeah, because I'm putting a silencer on that. Yeah.
It's suppressible.
Give me one. I need it now. I need this in my life. I can put a can on it. Give me it. I need it.
This is stupid. And I said that I would even give the Curve a good fighting chance because at least that is a gun. Let me tell you something. Nobody who carries a firearm in self-defense that I know of is like dying to take a life. So they're counting on not just the protection value of it, but they're counting on the actual show of force value of it. If you pull a pistol out, you instantly have that validation of, damn, this guy is no longer screwing around. We have reached the point of screwing around. Now it's time to get the fight or flight going. This now looks like one of my kids' squirt gun toys, and that is not going to stop anything, which means you're now going to ensure that some trigger will be pulled, some round will go down. And if that doesn't hit and it doesn't call it a day, then you now have escalated it to the point of we're beyond that. This is such a just disaster of an idea, and the fact that they are marketing it to women and the elderly is beyond. You're creating bodies at this point.
It gets better. It gets better. They have a disclaimer.
Well said.
They have a disclaimer that says the U.S. Food and Drug Administration (FDA) has determined the palm pistol is not a medical device under Section 201 of the Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act.
Huzzah!
Because it is not intended for use in the diagnosis of diseases or other conditions, or to cure. I can't.
I have been quit guns. I quit guns, Jake. There you go. You've made me quit guns.
No, you didn't.
Why is there an FDA disclaimer on it? Why?
That is so weird. I mean, perhaps that's because this would be effective in dispatching game and animals up close, like farm animals, and
that makes sense.
You think it's a varmint?
Well, no. I mean,
pigs, for instance, and things like that.
Pigs and cattle, and
they use that air freaking pneumatic device.
Yeah. Ugh.
I mean, a bullet is way more humane.
No country for old men. Yeah. He was the worst bad guy. Ugh.
Oh, he was creepy. He was creepy.
That's what I'm saying. Scary.
Can we talk about when this would become effective if they chambered it in 500 Magnum?
Oh my God! If I ever met Matthew Carmel, I would not just chastise him. I absolutely would not. I would literally want to sit down and be like, "I respect the ingenuity, but I have to ask, why?"
No, WTF is what you're saying.
What the actual? That's.
Can we put this in the same category as the single shot 308 pistol from last week from Heiser Defense? A 308 with a barrel length of about 1/4 of an inch.
It was a .18 twist, right? It was a .18.
It was insane.
Yeah, it might be the same category.
It's the same category.
They have all the CAD files up and everything right there on their website.
I was looking at the gun. I mean, the design seems functional, but as far as being an actual useful tool, I think that's completely gone.
Both of these guns seem like they'd be sold by that guy in the street corner that sells watches under his undercoat.
Yeah. I got this new thing. I've seen a kid with no hands fire a semi-automatic pistol. This is just an excuse.
Right.
This is an excuse.
He mag changes faster than 90% of the freaking people who think they're heroes out there. And he had no hands.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Hunter's a great kid, by the way.
Appeals court finds that the gun ban for a committed man is unconstitutional. Now, we have talked about this in the past about people that have been adjudicated as a mental defective or who have been committed to a mental institution for a short time, losing their Second Amendment rights. And this was a case of that. The 73-year-old Hillsdale County man, Clifford Charles Tyler, took this to the appeals court to get his gun rights restored after a bout of cases going through the court, and it's good to see that that positive outcome on this. This is something a lot of people have been fearing, that military veterans would lose their gun rights en masse, possibly.
Yeah, this has become quite a topic, over the last several years now, about whether or not it's, first of all, legal and okay for the government to look in your medical records, and then be going a little beyond that, when they determine if you can or cannot possess a firearm based on your mental history. Now, I would be interested to see kind of where they draw that line, because this is, as far as I'm aware, this is almost unprecedented, that they actually said, if you were committed, you can still own a gun. That, to me, is completely unprecedented in our community. I mean, can you guys think of anything similar?
This whole thing is dangerous, and it's something that I don't think anyone is really prepared for, and now that we have to deal with it, every decision is the wrong decision.
Yeah, this is really interesting.
He was committed in 1986 after an emotional issue from divorce. And let me tell you, we've all known at this point in our lives somebody who literally had a breakdown, because sometimes the stress of freaking life is just too much. I mean, geez, I'm probably right on the cusp of one. But what it boils down to... I love
you, Whitey.
I love you too. What it boils down to is 86, and he was committed for less than a month after probably having a huge emotional breakdown from a divorce. The year is now 2014. Yeah. So here's the fun part. Do you say, and I'm just playing the devil's advocate here, I'm not going to sway one way or the other, because until I meet somebody, I really can't make that assessment. Do you say that if they've ever been committed, they can't own a gun? No, that's not right. Do you say the rising suicide rates of PTSD veterans, because they may go or get evaluated by VA, or say that they might not be, mentally stable enough to own a firearm, and you take their guns away? Well, then you're unpatriotic, because why can't a guy who carried a gun overseas now have one at home, where that's the thing he fought for?
Right.
And at that point, you then start diving into Fourth Amendment rights, and it just goes on and on and on, because at what point does your personal history now dictate, your Second Amendment rights? And it's such a horrible rabbit hole that we've come to a point in our society and this country that we actually have to approach this issue. And I don't think any party is ever going to agree that there is a right answer to any of this, and it's going to have to go by a case-by-case basis to be successful. And that case-by-case basis will be on a panel, and there'll be multiple people and jury of peers, yada yada, and it's just going to be really drawn out, which means they can drown it out in paperwork. There is no right answer that I can see that would make this a good thing to look at, but it has to be looked at.
And even if it is a case-by-case basis, they're going to get it wrong at some point. You know what I mean? There's never going to be a good blanket response. There's never going to be, that maybe one day that person had a bad day or whatever, and the jury goes against them. You know what I mean? Like, this is a very, very dangerous thing. It also kind of ties into, if we're talking about removing somebody's rights, it also ties into felonies. What if somebody has I talked about this in one of my Q&A Sundays, about whether or not somebody that commits a felony as per the law is able to retain firearms rights. And currently that's not the case. As soon as you commit a felony, your rights go out the window. And I stood behind that. I said, if you break the law, you're knowingly doing it, and that should be upheld in court. However, people made a point, well, what about non-violent felons? It's very easy these days to get tossed in jail for something that is just something you're innocent of, or that doesn't really have anything to do. Like, if you get caught with insurance fraud or something along those lines, why should you have your gun rights revoked? It's about finding out where that line is, and who dictates where that line is. That's a big issue as well.
You caught a lot of heat for that piece.
Oh, I sure did. And people were not wrong. It's just, like you said, there is no perfect answer here. And that's the unfortunate thing, is we could speculate and talk about this for hours on end, But there's no real answer.
Natalie, what pistol do you get for the felon in your life?
Yeah, no, well, I'm over here thinking about, there's a guy in, distantly related and, friend of an in-law. And, he went crazy one day and, like, thought that, it was head trauma, and he went crazy and he had a ton of guns and, it wasn't good. And his best friend, went in and saved the day. And even his wife, he was threatening his wife. And, no police were ever called in or anything like that. And of course now the dude still owns guns and he's never had an incident since. But that's a scary thing. And when you're talking about case by case, I'm thinking, this is a society issue. This is not a legal issue, because you're right. It will not be handled properly in the courts or in the system, whatever path it takes. It's going to go wrong, and somebody's going to get sued for it.
We built this.
We built this.
We built this. What I mean by that statement is that
with veterans specifically, or
no, with prescription drugs specifically, with more healthcare and more people looking at what you're doing than ever before. You can say it's media. You could say it's the accessibility to media, both to distribute as well as to see and consume, as well as create, versus where it was, say, in the 1950s and the 1800s. But
it's a cocktail of things, right? It is. It's
right.
It's FBI, lifestyle.
Yeah. Everyone keeps stats on all this stuff. CDC, FBI, all these people. There's stats on all this stuff, and whether or not.
Do you think they're really that organized, though?
Even if they have a failure rate of like 50%, the numbers still rise over the years of things like homicides, rapists, psychotic people, serial killers, all that fun stuff. And it's as we repress the human spirit, so to speak, more, you see more outbursts like that. And it's I'm not going to turn this into that whole spiel because I'm not that tinfoil, but as we get more medicated as a society, we're going to run into more issues like this. We're like, how did we even come to this?
I think one of the biggest issues here is you're right on what I was thinking. Is it's a society issue, and we as a nation, as a human race, look at mental issues and missteps and downfalls as a extremely negative thing, like that everybody that has a little bout of depression or anxiety or anything like that, we look at those people like they're all crazy because that's what this is the house we've built, we have to live in it. Right. And unfortunately, we can't just automatically switch. There has to be a huge shift in the way we look at mental instability in order for us to make real progress here.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. I think that's exactly right. I think we have to understand the brain more, and we have to understand, and that's in its infancy, right? We're just getting into that. And if we really want to address any of these massacres, honestly, specifically in the U.S., like the one in Pakistan is a whole different deal. But well, it is. It's the religious zealot, right? As opposed to an Adam Lanza. Those are completely two.
Right. It's still a mental issue, no matter what way you cut it.
Well,
human brain is what causes that stuff.
Yeah.
At the core of all unrest, all of that is a mental issue. People don't choose to do things like that.
Well, but there's indoctrination too. That's a whole different piece that also has to be considered.
Yeah.
I think I'll catch some flack for saying that other countries still rapidly pursue Darwinism, whereas we continue to just nurture everything. That's a horrible statement, especially being a father. But at the end of the day, it's China, India, all these people that have, you don't see mass disabilities. You don't see massive diabetes. You don't see all this stuff that we handle with medication in a first world society that they do. And it's like we got to find that balance, I think, to figure out who needs to be medicated and who just needs to let nature run its course, so to speak. Like I said, I'm probably going to catch a lot of flack for that
Well,
statement.
that's Obamacare, though.
Let me.
I'm going to catch a little bit of flack for that too, but I mean, there are a lot of provisions in there that you're like, that's basically what it is. It's almost, eugenics or,
Right.
It's, anyway.
What?
Oh wow, are we off topic, Jake?
Seattle Times. I will not comply rally draws gun rights supporters to Olympia. Jake, take it away.
That's right. After Initiative 594 passed here this last election
Sorry,
in
Jake.
Washington, which expands background checks to people buying firearms in private sales or exchanging them in a transfer. Well, pro-gun activists held a rally at the state capitol this last Saturday, which drew over 1,000 people, maybe quite possibly 1,500 people, and this law is so ambiguous that it may be construed as someone just loaning someone a firearm as a transfer and stuff like that. So that's why a lot of pro-gun people in Washington are pretty upset about this.
Dustin Ellerman put up an amazing, stupid, simple graphic highlighting this, and I'll see if I can find it real quick.
On his Facebook, or?
Yeah, where it was literally it said in 49 states, this is a hunting education graphic in places with 594. There it is, found it. In 49 states is a picture of hunter safety. In the state of Washington, thanks to I-594, it's a picture of 2 hunters committing a felony by transferring a firearm without a background check. The image is of a woman on one side of a fence in all orange garb because she's hunting with her shotgun, handing her husband on the other side of the fence a shotgun, implying that they're trying to be safe so that she can overcome the obstacle, and that's that. But just by handing him that, even for that momentary, they are now both, as John would say, felons. They made that choice.
Maybe, yeah.
Right, and this is hey, it all ties in. Are these people now going to lose their firearms rights because of this nonsense? This whole thing just aggravates me to no end. Like, when does this stop? When is it going to be something where people just go, you know what? No, I'm done. I'm done following your draconian laws. I'm tired of it. And then all of a sudden, it's that start of something significantly bigger. And people are getting to that point. It's very, very dangerous to go down this road because all of a sudden you've got an entire state full of felons, just like New York, just like Connecticut. You've got people that will not comply with this garbage. And then who comes to enforce it? Nobody wants to. So you're just going to allow a state full of felons all of a sudden? Then what?
Right. Then the rule of law means nothing, and that's
right.
You're right. That's where we are headed. That's a lot of what we're seeing is. I don't want to get too off topic and political, but yeah, a lot of what we're seeing, with executive orders and such. I mean, that's completely just ignoring the rule of law and due process and all of that. And I mean, it's a really important thing, as we all know, but I mean, you really do have to think through that. Like, what happens when the people at the top ignore the laws? Well, then that trickles down, because right now the people that we interact with, the police, the judges, that kind of thing, on kind of the direct level, the next level that we would have to interact with like a speeding ticket or whatever, those people have to follow the laws. They are doing it to the letter usually, at least in California and Texas, the 2 states that I'm in the most. And I mean, that stuff trickles down, and then where are we? Like Thailand? I mean, where you can pay off Mexico, where you're paying off the judges and you're paying off the cops? Well, I mean, it's a big deal.
Let's say that they do decide to enforce this. Let's go down that road. Let's say that you maybe they don't know this happened, they find out, and you get pulled over for a speeding ticket. Let's go down that way and say that, oh, you've got a felony arrest, and they start doing this on a massive scale.
Yeah.
Well, then the entire corporation of the prison system completely collapses in on itself because it cannot support such things. And then let's say that 60% of the population is in jail. We've got a big issue there. That is you know what I mean? Either way you go with this kind of stuff, it's not a good thing.
Well, that's California. We're there in California where they're letting out murderers and rapists.
Right, and how is that an acceptable thing?
Yeah, it's not. It's really, really bad. It's the reason that we need more guns.
And they'll preach this stuff and they'll say no background checks, and they're looking right here in front of their face, but they can't see what's going on out to the sides. They can't see out 10 feet. You know what I mean? They want this, but they don't know the consequences, or they just don't care about the consequences because they just want that little step to chip away at what we're doing because they're a little bit scared of it. They don't understand it. So we have to suffer, and the entire nation is going to suffer if this continues.
Well, on that light note, I have to go.
We're just going to get into Granny got her gun.
I know. I'm sorry. I got to bail. Got a little heavy tonight, but all serious, okay. Important topics. Merry Christmas, everyone. Really, really good to see you, and talk soon.
Yes, Merry Christmas, Mahana Kwanzaa.
Happy Festivus.
Thanks. Bye, guys.
Bye.
So, armed women in gun shop saved by a book. So this happened in Springdale, Arkansas, December 6th. Two robbers burst into this gun store and they were both carrying semi-automatic pistols. And they said that the owner, Shirley Cornett, pulled out her .38 revolver and shot one of the guys in the arm who was jumping over the counter towards her husband, Clint. Then they fired on her and hit a stack of books on the counter and in front of her. And then the bullet went through the books, and it said it actually hit her in the chest, but it did not break the skin. The books slowed it down enough to save her.
That's awesome. That's luck in it. that's a true bout of luck there. Wow.
The fact that it hit her after going through the bullet but bounced off her chest, I mean, you go Super Saiyan after that. I mean,
yeah. I repel bullets! No, I just want to point out, there's a picture in this article, so if you guys are reading through the show notes, take a look at this particular article. They've got screen caps from the security footage, and it kind of reinforces, we all kind of talk about point shooting and things like that. This woman is not even close to using her sights under stress. So that's something, just a side note, practice that kind of shooting.
Colorado Gun Group says let marijuana users have concealed carry permits. So Edgar Antillian, co-founder of Guns for Everyone in Westminster, Colorado, doesn't see why legal recreation and medical marijuana can't coexist with concealed carry permits. So he has filed a proposed ballot measure that could bring Colorado's gun laws in line with its marijuana laws.
Yeah, I'm with this.
I have no problem with it.
Yeah, I mean it's recreational, it's medical, it's alcohol. Alcohol is worse, in my opinion, than marijuana.
You still have fill in the blank here under influence, or figure out here under what's the other one? Under the influence and under DUI and DWIs and DUIs.
So driving while intoxicated.
While intoxicated and under the influence. While you still have laws with fill in, problem substance here, then I really don't see any problem at all. I mean, if you catch somebody who's doing something, so to speak, that is illegal under the influence and they have a firearm, well, hey, everybody wins. I mean, you get to keep doing your arrest records and they get to have their guns and everyone's a winner, and you're going to see who the responsible people are and who aren't. So I mean, it's personally, I don't think that if I got stoned I'd be like, oh man, I really need to go get my gun.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. I want a bag of chips. So the handgun, so it says the county sheriffs of Colorado concealed handgun permit application currently asks if you are, quote, an unlawful user of or addicted to marijuana or any depressant, stimulant, or narcotic drug or any other controlled substance. I believe that is on the 4473 nationwide. I believe it's that verbatim. And the fact that it starts that with unlawful user, I think kind of negates this, because if you're legally using marijuana in the state of Colorado, where it is completely legal to do so, then you're not unlawful, and you can just check no. You know, I mean, would you guys agree?
Yeah, I guess it really depends how it's worded, but I don't know. It's it comes down to even being too tired. If you're really really too tired, that's almost as being having too many drinks.
I'm losing you there, Jake. You're breaking up.
Can you hear me?
You're getting fuzzy, Jake.
I'm getting
He's
fuzzy.
fading out. It's going to be the Chaos and Way show in a minute.
Justin, 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me now?
Yep, we got you.
So, yeah, it's gonna be personal judgment, because I was saying being really sleep deprived and too tired can have similar effects on the body as drinking too much.
Yeah, and that was MythBusters actually did a test on that. They compared it side by side, driving and response times and things, and it was sometimes worse, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me, users out there listening. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it was worse in some case to be tired. And I mean, as long as people are able to drink, alcohol and things, and then do operate amongst their daily lives, and as far as I can see, Colorado is regulating marijuana much like it regulates alcohol. What's the problem here? Why should these people not have their Second Amendment rights?
Right.
That's unfair and ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
So let's talk about the Walmart shooting of John Crawford. We covered this on autoplay video here. We covered this a few episodes. This was the gentleman that was walking around Walmart with with what was it? I think a pellet rifle.
8 seconds into this video, people are going to instantly be like, "Yep, I'm done."
It was I believe an airsoft or pellet rifle that he was carrying around the store. It was out of the box, and some guy decided to kind of call in the SWAT team or something, active shooter situation.
Right. He was swatted by this guy. Yeah, this guy that called it in, saying that John Crawford was waving the gun around, pointing it at people, and had an assault rifle and everything.
Right. So the cops came in hot and expecting an active shooter situation. They go in, and this innocent man has his life taken. Oh my lord! The video auto playing on this is Politics Nation with Al Sharpton. I don't even want to let him speak
on MSLSD, nonetheless.
Oh, I don't even want. I see his face. Oh.
Anyways, yeah, it's a terrible website, but the point is that apparently after this, the police grilled the victim's girlfriend, John Crawford, girlfriend who was actually pregnant with his child. He didn't even know that yet, and it sounded like they not only biffed the shooting, but they also handled the aftermath pretty poorly.
It sounds pretty standard. I mean, you got a bunch of guys coming in that are under the impression they're responding to an active shooter. You are all jacked up. You have your adrenaline pumping. You're worried about your boys just as much as the public. And yeah, when you find out that it's a pellet gun, that adrenaline and that aggression has to go somewhere. So I'm actually not surprised. And then you couple that with cover our ass because we don't want to be seen as another, overstepping uncaring police force, and then it ends up all over social media. Instead, you have the Reverend Al Sharpton, who just looks like constipation in a suit. It's just and that's not a racist joke. I mean, the guy literally looks like he's withering away, and we watched an excellent instructional video or informational video before this that just instantly reminds me of the constipation section. That look on his face of just.
What scares me about this is it's kind of in line with the big Michael Brown nonsense that was happening. People are seeing this as an unlawful attack on an innocent man from a police officer, and idiots out there will try and combine this with that Michael Brown thing, and
right.
Like, I'm reading through the comments on MSNBC's website, which is a bad idea to begin with, and the top comment says, "I think the department should be sued for every penny." Oh my lord, how wrong is that statement? Now, the core of this article is about the police aggressively interrogating this man's girlfriend, and I don't have time to sit through a 9-minute video of one of the most awful human beings on earth, Al Sharpton, speaking. But apparently, what I'm gathering from this brief thing is that the cops were harassing his girlfriend after he was just shot dead in Walmart, which is not acceptable.
Yeah, great. Good stuff, Al Sharpton. Hey, here's a fun interactive measure. So if you're a fan of Firearms Radio Network and you love messaging Jake, tell you what, we would like to hear your response for next time we do this. Which is bigger or more annoying? Let's go with greater than or less than. Al Sharpton, Don King. Go. Send them emails to Firearms Radio Network.
Who's worse?
Send them to Whitey at 4 Guys Guns.
Al Sharpton versus Don King. There you go.
Well, maybe we should have John call him up on air.
There you go.
Tell him I'm Peter Palma.
Open carry militia mom murders family.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, boy.
So, Texas woman who allegedly shot and killed her ex-husband, stepdaughter, was an enthusiastic member of the Three Percenters Texas militia movement, and also an open carry advocate who, apparently went nuts and killed her estranged husband and her stepdaughter.
So the article opens with a quote that was on her personal Facebook page, and it says, "Sometimes removing some people out of your life makes room for better people." Now, if I posted that, if anybody else posted that, it would be considered, I'm trying to improve my life, I'm trying to get better people around me, etc., etc. And now they're turning it into a quote-unquote cryptic warning of things to come. Oh, my head hurts from reading this kind of stuff.
Ow, I got the brain pain.
I don't even know what to say to this. I mean, this is just terrible. And they're going to, some people are going to try to turn this into open carry people are the devil. 3 Percenters are the devil because apparently she was a member of the 3 Percenters Texas militia movement. And it's unfortunate. It's really just some lady that went off the deep end. Nothing more.
It says that she works at APG Security of Kalibata, Indonesia.
Nice.
Really?
I just want to hear Jake do that again.
This article is really long. Where does it say that, Jake?
No, I went to her Facebook page. They referenced.
You're creeping on her. I get it.
I did the same thing because I wanted to see all the hate parade, but see how far the Daily Beast actually reaches.
So, yearbook rifle photo. High school senior wins fight to hold gun in portrait. So this is in upstate New York. Rebecca Rorick attends high school in upstate New York, and according to the Daily Mail, as her senior portrait, she selected a photo which she posed with a rifle and hunting dog while wearing a camouflage vest. When the yearbook committee originally turned down her photo, Rorick asserted that she felt like crying. She says, "My family has always hunted." She said, "It was something I do with my family and my dog. My dog is my best friend, so I decided to put her in the photo. I fell in love with the picture. It's my favorite photo of all time right now." And so apparently the superintendent got involved in this, and the school board, and they ended up allowing her to use a photo, shockingly enough.
Yeah, apparently the big issue was simply because there's a gun in the picture.
Yeah.
Ooh, ooh.
If you've ever traveled anywhere outside of your own town, and you go to a place that's drastically different, like say I'm up in New England and I go to Texas, I go to California, I go to Florida, I go to another country. When they do certain things that are normal to them and weird to you, by you voicing your opinion about how weird that is, changes nothing in how they're going to do that thing that they continue to do. So what bothers me is, like you said, there's a gun in the picture. To the rest of the liberal world, this is like oh my God, she's being controversial. Whereas this is a high school senior who has known nothing but enjoyment with her family. This is a normal, everyday thing for them. Kind of like the whole, teach them young, start them young. This is what she's known her whole life, and that's why I could see this being a complete just tragedy in the fact that they have to put this girl through a national media spotlight. I mean, again, it's not like she's not on Fox and CNN and all that, but it's like it's all just self-promotion and propaganda at this point, because this girl in her eyes was probably doing nothing wrong. Her family probably saw no wrong in it. This is something, like she said in the article, they do together as a family. It kind of hurts you a little bit to see America chipping away at itself in this manner. It's not even about a rifle. It's America chipping away at itself.
Yeah, I just clicked. There's a Twitter link to some local ABC station. It says New York student wins fight, blah 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 blah, and the comments are saying that this is wrong. The one says, "Why would you want this type of picture in your yearbook? It has nothing to do with your experiences in school." Hey there, genius! So what you do in your senior pictures is you put things that you enjoy about your life at the time in those pictures so that you can share it with your friends and your family. That's what you do. You don't put your school stuff in there. That's not what you do.
There's a lack of clarity, I think, here, because everyone generally, when they hear yearbook photo, they think of the one in front of the fancy background, and you're wearing your Sunday's best, and you're posing with the good smile, and everyone signs or makes faces on you, things like that. A lot of people don't understand that in yearbooks, dating anywhere after, I don't know, color, people started having pictures of school activities and things that people do in recreation. I mean, geez, half of my senior class posed with their car, and that's just one of those for ha-ha photos that's filler to make sure you always have the memories, and this is a good memory of hers. I think that's where it's just not lying, but not telling the whole truth when they say yearbook photo.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I don't think if you open up that New York high school yearbook, you're going to find, Susie Johnson, Mary Rottencrotch, blah, 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 and then here's this girl with her dog and her rifle. Like, that's not what's happening here.
Yeah, I think, I hope that this girl sticks to her guns in the future, because this type of experience can really sway somebody this early in their life.
Right.
And it sounds like she's sticking to her guns. Sorry about that.
Honey.
I'm so sorry. But it really does. It sounds like she's really sticking with it and wants to continue to hunt, and we need young women like this. We need young women that support the Second Amendment right and our hunting rights and things like that. So I'm glad to see that she, kind of got through to them and said, "Listen, this is not an issue."
This next one, though, speaking of high school.
Virginia student busted with guns and ammo in high school lot.
Dumb. You are an idiot. You are an absolute jackwagon.
If this picture is what this person had on them at the time, that's a fair that's like a loadout there.
Right. Like he just had a range day.
I believe
Like
it might be a female. The name is Brandy Cummings, or am I misinterpreting this? I'm sorry.
All right, so I'm going to play a little segment here.
Found inside a high school and a student under arrest.
Police say the 18-year-old brought a small arsenal onto school property in Middlesex County. Austin Martin now faces a felony charge and is not allowed back on school property. Here's a picture of all of the weapons and ammunition. 10 on your side's Brandy Cummings has the latest now from Middlesex High.
Austin
The
Martin.
sheriff sat down with us tonight. He says he was shocked by this discovery. He says in all of his time here in Middlesex County, his deputies have never confiscated anything like this from a student. A rifle, a 12-gauge shotgun, 2 pistols, several bayonets, a hatchet, multiple magazines, and about 600 rounds of ammo. It's all what deputies say 18-year-old Austin Martin had in the back of his black Chevy SUV Friday, parked at Middlesex High School.
This is the first time that we found something that was pretty scary to us, that we didn't expect.
Since becoming sheriff in Middlesex County, David Bushy has led the effort to keep drugs out of schools by getting police canines to search lockers, classrooms, and vehicles 3 times a year. This time, the dog found weapons.
Because I still can't understand how a drug dog got lucky. It was a very good dog. Something made it react.
News spread on social media. Devontae Robertson graduated from Middlesex High last year and knows Austin Martin well.
I was just really surprised. Yeah, it was kind of reckless. I mean, it's complete reckless, but I was surprised by it.
Middlesex County Superintendent Dr. Thomas Taylor.
We haven't uncovered anything that would reveal a plot or any kind of ill intention or any kind of malice.
Sheriff Bushy won't tell me why Martin had all the weapons in his car, saying it's under investigation.
What would have happened had this dog not found those weapons?
You know?
Oh my goodness.
That's $1 million question. I mean, would he come back?
Let's speculate.
Oh, they didn't find it before. We don't know.
But Robertson
let's
told
blow
me
this way out of
Martin
proportion.
was planning to go shooting with his dad, something he says his friend does all the time.
So, I don't think he was meant to he was planning to hurt anybody. I really don't think he would have.
Of course, they
Austin
cut
Martin
that kid
is
off.
out of jail on a $1,500 unsecured bond. And as for what happens next, as far as him coming back to school, the superintendent tells us typically in this situation, the principal makes a recommendation on whether or not the student is suspended or expelled, and the superintendent makes the ultimate decision. But so far, no decision has been made. For now, in Middlesex County, I'm Brandy Cummings, 10 on your side.
I don't know if it's my computer, but that lady reporter looked completely cross-eyed in that video.
Yeah. So about Austin, he screwed up. Yeah, you don't bring that kind of stuff to school.
Well, yeah, but if he was, going shooting with his dad, or maybe they had gone the previous day, maybe this wasn't even his car. Maybe he took his dad's vehicle that day because his didn't start.
Yeah.
Maybe it's something simple as that. Because I was thinking, I have two boys, and when they get older, we're going to be shooting, going to the range all the time, and we're probably going to have an SUV like this that's our range truck, and it's always going to have some sort of weaponry in the back of it, so I don't know, it's unfortunate that we live in a day and age where everyone freaks out at the sight of firearms and bayonets.
I love how they tried to make the ammo a big thing, like he had guns and ammo.
Oh no.
Like, that's the shocking part.
He had a fire extinguisher that had stuff in it.
Right, exactly.
This next one's kind of depressing.
No, I already read that one. Gun malfunctions when robber tries to shoot the delivery driver. So, Josh, why don't you take it away?
So essentially what the story says is that basically 10:45 at night, Pizza Hut guy basically comes in, demands money from a driver, not even like from the guy behind the counter, from what I'm gathering here, et cetera, et cetera. So, because it was the delivery man, he pistol whipped him, I guess, because if you don't know he means business with the gun in your face, we might as well hit you with, 4.5 pounds of steel and then hit you again. When he came to, he heard the click. So either guy's an idiot and didn't chamber the round, or he's just that far gone where he thinks that, this is some sort of great solution, and then hits him again with it. So there's no, happy ending to this story. There's no bad ending to the story other than a guy just got pistol whipped 3 times, and his life was saved by someone who doesn't know how to work a firearm, and that's it. I mean, that would drive me absolutely nuts. You could have died, and then in the rest of media, all you hear is how guns are bad. This guy was ready to cap a delivery driver for Pizza Hut. Like, ready. Pulled the trigger. He was good to go. And for what? And we want to talk about how it's not good for people like us to defend ourselves. That's, to me, the kind of evil in the world that needs to be highlighted so people can understand that sometimes it's not a situation that you put yourself in. Sometimes it's not, being in the wrong neighborhood. Sometimes it's not a vigilante situation. Sometimes it's just things happen. And this is a key story to highlight the factor that no one is ever as safe as they think they are.
Yeah.
John.
Yeah, I don't really have much to add to that. You're spot on, man. I mean, it's an unfortunate situation that, as you said, this guy did not put himself in. That's something that a lot of people say, well, why do you need a gun? Why do you need a gun? You shouldn't go somewhere where you think you need a gun. I think I need a gun anywhere, everywhere, because something bad can happen at any time.
I got yelled at by my mother because I'm a super jerk sometimes. So I came home, my kid's on FaceTime with my wife, and I come in, and I know it drives her nuts that I carry guns. So I come in, she's like, oh, you got a haircut. And I just pull my shirt right up. Boom! There's my pistol, Mom. Like, take that, parental figure. And you took your gun to get a haircut? And literally the following time I went, it was probably 3 weeks later, the coin and jewelry place immediately next door got hit while I was getting my haircut. Now, that's not me saying, oh, well, I could have saved the day. That's me saying, what if that day that hit didn't pan out and he decided to just go right next door and rob all the pretty girls at Supercuts and and everyone's sitting there with their hands under their smocks, getting a haircut. What's to say that wouldn't happen?
Right.
And what? I didn't bring my gun that day because my mom thinks it's ridiculous for me to have a gun on me while I get a haircut. Are you kidding me? Why do you carry a gun around the house? 100% of home invasions happen in the home. That's like an actual fact because it's called a home invasion. So, I mean, it's be armed, be prepared, be well versed and practiced, and if you can, by all means, get some hand-to-hand, get some Krav Maga or something going, get some sort of physical fitness where when it comes down to it, you don't want to be on the end of a click. That'd be my advice.
All right. Well, if you're still scrambling, trying to get your last-minute holiday gifts, check out our Amazon affiliate link. Go to thisweekinguns.com or firearmsradio.tv/Amazon to shop with our affiliate link. Free 2-day Prime shipping, and you still get things in time for Christmas. And I know you guys shop Amazon year-round, so please consider using our affiliate links, supporting this free programming. So we are to the full auto news segment, stories of real media won't talk about, and other crazy stuff. Do we want to cover, I skipped one up here in the main topic, do we want to cover the one titled NRA pledges to give away African...
That can't be real.
Dude.
Let me start over.
Okay.
NRA pledges to give every African child a gun by 2018.
This can't be real.
I hope for the NRA's sake that this is not true.
No, this is like an Onion-style article.
Okay, because I'm looking at this like, what? Oh my god! So I mean, not for nothing.
Yeah,
It's
because
a valid idea.
this made up NRA spokesperson is quoted as saying, "For the price of a Big Mac and large fries, we could equip an African child with a medium caliber handgun."
That's true. There's a lot of Mo's and the Gaunt's out there. I mean, but so I mean, in all seriousness, and then what do you have? I mean, we have Eddie Eagle. Do they have like Gary Gazelle or Eddie the Elephant teach you firearms safety? So now think about this though, especially all you Coney 2012 fans. So how many children, and this is like a real thing, despite the whole Coney fictitious drama, there are African warlords over there that will just take children, and you have 10-year-olds slaughtering towns with an AK-47, which is really funny when you have people like, oh my god, my 8-year-old shoots a 22. Ah! So you have 10-year-olds slaughtering towns with AK-47s, and they don't know any better or any different because that's exactly what they were threatened or forced to do. By arming every child in Africa, you give them and their families a fighting chance to not have their children sold to slavery, to stand up for themselves. If it was real, which is still, you can't kill Ebola with a 7.62, so I'm out of steam on that one. I don't know.
Well, that was kind of my thought too. Like all these innocent kids in Africa are being, kidnapped and killed. Maybe they need to have guns.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that instead of like we always do, policing the world and giving guns to the world, let's give every child in the United States a gun by 2018.
So every time I'm at the range and my son's wasting ammo, I'm like, there's kids in Africa who don't have that ammo.
Exactly.
Soon.
But soon.
By 2018.
Thanks to Brett Maples and the NRA.
I could see Sally Struthers like walking around right now, and then the close-up of the kid with like the fly on his eye and like an empty Mosin Nagant chamber. Like it's like, oh no, you too can supply 7.62 by 54R.
Oh my God. Moving on.
All right. Well, this is where we each pick an article or two to talk about. So, John, Josh, who wants to go?
Oh my God, commonly mispronounced firearms.
Ah, no! Come on.
Take it away, Josh.
It has a really great graphic right at the top because it says Heckler and Koch. But it could be Koch, it could be Coke, it could be anything. Heckler und Koch. So it's got this fun little thing, and it's Jake, you're killing me. It's not even an article, it's a video.
Yeah. So since
video.
Whitey is unprepared, I watched this the other day.
You know what? I could probably hit play here.
Yeah. Before you hit play, I would just like to preface this with, I thought this was going to be educational. Ready, go. Jake, you didn't ready, go.
A lot of people pronounce these gun names incorrectly. Here's how to say them properly. People usually pronounce the name of this Russian bolt-action rifle as Mosin or Moisin, but it's actually pronounced
Mosin. Mosin.
People usually pronounce the name of this Austrian manufacturer
with inflection.
It's actually pronounced
Steyr. Steyr.
Steyr.
Say it with it. Let's do it. Let's go along with it.
Kalashnikov. It's actually pronounced
Kalashnikov.
Kalashnikov.
People usually pronounce this classic World War II rifle's name as Garand. It's actually pronounced Garand. Garand.
Garand.
People usually
Jake,
pronounce
say it.
the name of this Russian
Garand.
sniper rifle as Dragunov. It's actually pronounced
Dragunov.
Dragunov. You gotta roll the R.
People
Dragunov.
usually pronounce the name of this grandfather of the modern assault rifle Sturmgewehr. It's actually pronounced
Sturmgewehr.
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 People usually pronounce the name of this futuristic-looking bullpup Taver, but it's actually pronounced
Tavo.
People usually pronounce the name of this legendary German arms manufacturer Heckler & Koch. It's actually pronounced
Heckler und Koch.
Heckler und Koch.
All the
usually
Koch.
call this Russian-designed pistol a Markov or Makarov, but it's actually supposed to be pronounced
Makarov. Makarov.
Makarov.
People usually pronounce the name of these Sporter AKs as Segas. It's actually supposed to be pronounced
Sega. Sega.
Wait, what?
Good. Sega.
So it's not a Sega, it's a Sega. Got it.
All right.
So
The more you know.
this is why I said this was supposed to be educational. I commented on this video on YouTube, and I said, wait. So the way to pronounce these names is to just do it in a goofy accent. Then you got it right. What?
All the goofy.
Motzen. Really? This is American. It's Mosin Nagant. Get out of here. That was atrocious. Clickbait.
Let's see.
Clickbait. All right. So.
What's this one? John, you're up.
I'm up.
Nice. Dynamite dropping. Say it. Say it. Say it.
You stole mine, Whitey. That was gonna be mine. I gotta go now.
Go ahead. Yeah, actually, it's John's turn. So go ahead.
All right. Hold on. This is a video. It's 13 minutes long. How can I do this?
Oh, you don't watch it yet? The bulletproof groin.
No, we were talking. We were having fun.
Oh, well, maybe we can talk about it next week.
Yeah, we'll have to.
I got another one if we're ready.
Yes, go. Ready, go.
Fascinating portraits of Texan women with their handguns. I would like to immediately relabel this article as "Old Barflies and Their Pistols." This is that. I mean, any guy and any girl who's ever been to a bar has noticed that, like, could be late 50s, could be early 70s, who knows, but she's wearing a red dress and she came to party at the end of the bar waiting for the first drunk single guy to kind of walk through. She's clearly smoked 3 packs of cigarettes today, and she will be at work on time tomorrow morning after slaying whatever dragons she needs to this evening.
All right. No, keep going.
I'm painting a picture, Jake. I'm painting a picture.
I think we need to go through these one by one and describe.
Yep. With that.
All right.
Okay.
All right. So, Whitey, you take the first one.
Alyssa. Alyssa clearly has been through several dozen breakups, and they've always been just not the right guy, or she's been, accused of being crazy or overbearing, but nothing that a little bit of late nights, too much caffeine, and excessive amounts of eye makeup and really clever cut bangs can do to keep people from staring at her healthiness. So, with that, she decided it was time to get what looks like an XD and a 1911 and pose on an all-white, implying that she is virgin-esque, setting in her bedroom. In the scarlet dress, mind you.
Yes.
Wow, I didn't know we were going to do like full-blown...
Oh, Jake, you got to get in it, man. You got to get in it.
You got to go for it. You got to go for it. Dynamite from Whiteyford Richardson III.
Well,
Please, somebody take care.
I'm going to throw John the next one.
All right. So, Carrie operates a sex shop, and after her third husband left her, because he did not want to get beaten and whipped anymore, she decided to buy one of the worst firearms known to man, which is a small little NAA Derringer revolver, as well as what appears to be, I can't tell if that's a Taurus. I can't tell. It's a revolver in a Phobos holster, front and center with her belt buckle off to the side while she's got a feather-topped coat on, and she looks like she is very proud of her son because, she loves him, but she doesn't want him to see the porn she's done. That's what this lady looks like. That's what this lady looks like.
This is where fluffers go to die. I mean...
Oh, yeah.
But her hair has so much dimension with no less than 5 colors.
She looks like she's about to say, "Listen, I just finished a pack of cigarettes."
I bet you she's a doll. I mean, the ladies who sell that stuff are generally pretty fun-loving gals, in my experience.
Oh, totally. I'd give her the time of day, but in the spirit of having fun with these pictures, she's atrocious. Moving on, Donna. Jake, your turn.
Donna looks to be a court transcriber.
Court stenographer.
Stenographer who, after a long day, comes out to the parking lot to pose with her Smith & Wesson bodyguard with her finger clearly on the trigger. And
safety disengaged.
Safety off, finger on the trigger, showing that she's ready to rock and roll.
I think she's posing on the back of her 28-year-old boyfriend's car.
That she scooped up after immediately leaving her multi-million-dollar husband, who left with his secretary.
See, you guys have a panache for this.
We spend a lot of time being goofy. It's good.
All right, Josh, Amy.
Amy does not like her face being shown on any social media, on Facebook, anything like that at all, but she still wants to have the same flair as all the girls she hangs out with. So we get the top-down shot so we can see down a wonderful white tank top as her loving pet, of course a small dog, sits on top of her very colorful bedspread. Next to her is a very small, what appears to be, I think maybe a Kimber Solo?
I was calling Kimber Solo as well.
Yeah, and she just wants you to know that she's okay with staying in sometimes and laying around doing nothing as long as her Kimber Solo is right by her side.
And her dog is the most annoying being on Earth. Ready, moving on. Alana B.
I think she might be, like, a college professor or something, because she's still, like, in that dorm-type setting, but it's clearly grown up enough.
Indeed.
I want to hear all about Alana, though. Somebody needs to come up with something good for Alana.
John Stern.
Alana owns one blue dress and 8 million 8 million pairs of white T-shirts and jeans that are bell-bottomed at the bottom. She only wears Birkenstocks and owns not one but 2 pianos and has bird cages in the room with the pianos because they operate with the feng shui. She said, "Nay, I do not want to wear shoes with said blue dress because I didn't buy the blue shoes at the thrift store when I bought the dress. I have a drum to the side because it goes with the pianos, not because I'm a musician." And she also possesses what appears to be a small Smith & Wesson revolver placed gently on her lap. She is actually a good girl, slightly crazy, slightly off, but we like her. Moving on.
I'm very excited that Jake has Carol and Sandy.
Oh, yes!
Oh, Carol and Sandy are life partners who found themselves during the later years of their midlife crisis. And they have a festive holiday scene in their living room with a fiber optic Christmas tree, I guess.
Just very,
Jake,
very
come
bright.
on, man.
Come on.
I'm terrible at this.
Dig deep.
They're sitting in their mahogany-covered double wide with classic
There we go.
classic Life magazine, a retro Life magazine spread on the coffee table with I have no idea what gun that is.
Looks like a Ruger.
Looks like a little.
Looks like a Jimenez.
It's all steel, isn't it? It's like a little
Yeah.
35 ACP or something.
I'm calling 32 ACP or 25 ACP Jimenez firearm.
I want to say this is Thelma and Louise, the retirement years, now that it's publicly accepted.
And I would like to point out that they have pink china in the hutch behind them and a plaid Noel thing hanging with above that, and then there's a Paul Frank monkey on the carpet for no reason.
No, you know what I think that is? That's like a doggy bed. That's a monkey.
But it is Paul Frank.
Oh, it is Paul Frank. The dog's name is Goober. Moving on.
Oh my God, I did not get Casey. There's no way I'm this lucky.
You got Casey. That's you, brother.
So, since she didn't get Kurt Cobain, continued to live that type of lifestyle with her fantastically gold bed frame that has no back to it, and tries to look as strung out as possible as I continue to see, oh, there's the firearm wedged in between the mattress above her dog, who clearly was a nice white fluffy thing back when she was trying to get with Cobain, but the drugs just apparently took their toll. But luckily, she's a confident woman and really went with that lampshade.
She's also got what many would call a prison haircut. So imagine a bowl cut with long sides. That's kind of what it looks like. It's very weird, very Jim Carrey. The lazy eye really becomes her.
And she has love tattooed on her upper thigh, outside upper thigh.
And that's only for people that she cares about to see. So Corey is the wife of the most notorious gang member in southern San Bernardino in California.
I would say mom.
You say the mom of the gangster?
The mom of Jesus.
All right, the
Yeah,
mom
yeah.
of the Mexican gangster Jesus, whatever the hell his name is, and she's got what appears to be a snubby 44 mag, smooth side cylinder in her hand, finger on the trigger. Her dog, with eyes that have never connected to the brain, is sitting on the bed behind her. She's got not one, but 2 crosses on the wall, one with rosary beads and what appears to be a small little worship area. She cares about her religion, her son, and nothing else. Maybe the dog on Sundays. Moving on.
I try. Diablo Pequeño, he became such a bad
dude.
boy. I had to get
He's a good boy. This is the real life Consuela from Family Guy. Moving on. Mary Lou, Jake, go ahead.
Mary Lou, I don't know if I can make fun of Mary Lou. I think it's the actual only good photo.
Mary
in the
Lou
book.
is Jake's wife. Moving on.
I found it on farmersonly.com.
Yes, that's her profile pic on a farmer dating website.
Yeah.
Oh,
you know,
man.
likes long drives down dirt roads.
She's
shows-
birthed at least 3 cows.
Show, yeah,
At
shows
least 3.
cows at the county fair. And
Named
drives-
all of them. Drives the
class-
rusty truck she's standing in.
classic 1957 Chevy pickup truck, and
She doesn't need no man.
has a Commander style 1911.
Ooh.
Yes,
spot.
yes.
Yeah, and she
There are
feeds her cattle
lot of
melon.
these.
It looks like.
Oh, man.
I don't know.
How do I continue to get these girls?
Yeah, you just get the dynamite ones, dude.
So Megan spent a lot of her teen years fighting addiction, hanging with the wrong crowd, and she still struggles to get over the daily burden of what people look at her when she has the track marks in her legs, when she wears short skirts. But she's determined to change how the world looks at her, and she's scraped her way from the bottom. Now she has a wonderful pink trailer and a fantastic, fantastic ensemble with a very colorful and festive jacket and pillowed leather purse to conceal. Do you even see a gun in this
I'm
picture?
not seeing anything in her. There's maybe something in her right hand, kind of pressed against her arm, but I can't tell what it is.
So
If
from all
there's-
those years of concealing
Maybe she has a palm pistol.
in and out
maybe
of
she's got a needle.
after
I would.
turning her life around, she knows how to conceal. Bravo to Megan.
I would also like to point out she has a very, very nice Pontiac Grand Prix parked in the driveway of the pink trailer.
Cinderella story.
So Pamela is your crazy ex-girlfriend. She loves to, just stand outside your house with a firearm every night of the week when your new girlfriend is over. And she'll call every once in a while. You pick up, and all she says is, "Why?" Moving on.
Stacy is a bartender at a swanky downtown bar, and she does not have a firearm on the counter in front of her because she has a sawed-off double-barreled under the counter. And, she uses it to rush out the barflies around midnight, and, that's all I got.
She starred in a straight-to-DVD movie known as The Barkeep, where they portrayed a story just about her and that side-by-side shotgun, filled not with shotgun ammunition, but black powder and quarters.
Which she learned from her years of escaping the voodoo priesthood.
Oh my God.
As she escaped, right before Katrina, and with nothing but her trusty shotgun full of quarters and black powder.
All right.
Stephanie, I got a boring one.
Yeah, you got a boring one.
Stephanie bought a gun because she often ponders how long will she have to deal with only one laundry basket. Her life is empty and desolate as she gazes off into the distance, wondering who will be the right fill in the blank here. Next.
So the last but not least, I think we're going to need to tag team this one because for multiple reasons.
That's what she said.
Now, so this Vianne, is that how we're going to pronounce it?
She's a goer.
Vianne is the owner of...
Come on. Dig deep. Dig deep for it.
Wait for it. She's the owner of Piggly Wiggly, and what she does on her weekends is none of your goddamn business. She has a Glock 40 cal perched on her bed. She has some fishnet stockings on, and she's ready to party.
She likes hiring high school boys and comments on their physique because she knows that boys never report sex crimes. I don't know. Harassment. That's what I was looking for. High school boys don't report sexual harassment, and she's just a cougar on the prowl.
Yeah, definitely. Has cougar tattooed all over her.
As we wrap that particular segment up, I would like to say bravo to all the ladies who expose so much themselves, especially going on the internet, because it is not an easy thing to do, and we are making fun all in good fun.
Yeah.
Because Natalie's going to listen to this later and be like, you guys are jerks. But
no, honestly, I would
she's
love
all these
to
pictures.
I would love to meet every single one of these women. You know, we love having fun. We would do this if it was dudes too.
I want to go to Alyssa's super white bedroom and see that red dress.
All right, I want to go meet. I want to go meet Carrie, Donna, and I don't know. I kind of like.
I'd go with you to see Carrie.
Yeah.
I want to ask Donna what porn I've seen her in. That's
yeah. She's got that I've been down that road a few times look on her face.
Yeah.
All right.
Just when I thought I was out.
All right. Wow.
They put it back in.
I saw it a mile away. Just like the track marks comment on the girl's legs.
Moving on.
Another one. I don't know that we can do another one.
No, moving on. Let's talk about the Georgia gun range that invites children to take pictures of Santa as he holds an assault rifle.
Assault rifle?
What?
How dare he?
Slinging? Dynamic claws?
Sandy Springs Gun Club and Range is hosting an event for families. Per the range, children under 18 will not be allowed to hold the firearms in the photos, but Santa will be posing with the firearms, and they will be unloaded.
Santa does have quite the operator beard, so he's got that going for him, and he does have quite a loadout in his sleigh. You know, this is a man that knows how to make things happen. So if there's anybody that I would like to pose next to with a firearm, wouldn't it be Santa? I mean, let's talk logistics here. This man is on a different level.
And that's a full A1, I believe? That's a rifle-length M16. I think it's a Lancer mag, no?
I'm trying to find a bigger version of the picture. Oh, here we go.
Santa like a boss.
That is not a Lancer mag. It looks like a Tapco magazine.
Okay.
Probably, I'm calling...
but that's rifle-length gas.
I'm calling a Wyndham weaponry. Yeah, rifle-length gas system. This
Fixed
is
rear sight, yeah.
Yeah.
Front post, yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice little rifle, and Santa is not out to play. He's out to be an asset for the government. Let's move on. I love doing that.
I love this article, though. I mean, the first sentence right here tells you exactly where this whole paper or whatever comes from. A gun club in Georgia is taking gun fetishism and worship to a whole new level as they have scheduled an event for Saturday where children can pose for pictures with Santa Claus while he holds the assault rifle of their choice. That's the first sentence, and that pretty much highlights the entire website. I agree with moving on.
Yeah.
Bulletproof Gorn. I wish that wasn't a
I went into enough political diatribes earlier in the episode.
I agree.
Let's talk about the Texas plumber's old truck that resurfaces in Syria mounted with terrorist guns.
I'd be BS so bad. I would sue the place I sold it to.
So yeah, this guy, he sold this truck years ago, an F-250, and now it's resurfaced in Syria with his name and everything still on the truck.
They never took the vinyl off.
Never scraped it off. So,
so it's an F-250, and on the side it literally says, "Where's the picture?" It's just a video. It's like A1 Plumbing, if I remember correctly.
I'm trying to get through the ad on the front of this video.
Mark 1 Plumbing, and it has his number right on it. On the back of it is like anti-aircraft. It's basically the super technical that nobody ever wants to see. And literally has his phone number and everything. So this poor guy has been getting phone calls about a truck he traded in several years ago because people are like, you're sponsoring terrorism.
Wants to know how his old pickup truck ended up in the hands of Islamic extremists in Syria. Mark Oberholzer sold his...
Buffering.
Killing me, Jake.
Blame Fox News for that one.
But yeah, I believe the end of the videos also says that the guy's getting death threats now for providing terrorists his truck.
The stupidity in the human race never ceases to amaze me. There's a truck, so he is let's skip all logic. Let's take logic, put it in a box, and throw it out the effing window, and say that this man is immediately sponsoring terrorism.
Mark One Plumbing in Texas. All your Syria technical needs.
He is a plumber.
Right.
He's not a politician. He's not a arms trafficker. He is a plumber. And somehow he is a terrorist-supporting piece of junk, and that is not the case. And I would just like to go out on a limb and say that I would love to have an F-250 with an anti-aircraft gun in the rear.
I'd like to have an F-250. I don't understand. Think about that. He traded into somebody. So from that point in Texas, that car began a journey over to Syria, which means it got sold at auction to somebody shady who put it on a crate, if not multiple people, to bounce it around, make sure the path was lost. Got put on a freighter, got shipped across, and funded by somebody over there. So it's completely out of his hands, and he was under, you, me, Johnny Everyman, we go and we trade in our car. We expect that some other high school kid or somebody who's looking for a high mileage, low price car that looks cool is going to be ready to purchase. And it's in Syria. I mean, this should open some eyes for people.
I mean, let's say that it didn't go straight to Syria. This could have very well gone to Europe and then got transferred. Like, we don't know where this truck went from Texas. I mean, this guy obviously bought and sold it in Texas, most likely.
They can track that VIN. That's why I'm like, all right, so somewhere in his history you can find, here's the truck, it was registered with the state, here's the VIN number. You can see where that paperwork crossed over when he traded it in. You can see where they sold it at auction. VIN numbers are tracked, plain and simple. So you can follow it and find out how it got there, and I'm wondering why we haven't started talking about that in the news. That'd be FBI all over it, if you ask me.
So the Houston dealership he turned it over to, AutoNation, told this website that the truck was auctioned and was likely traded from owner to owner over the course of 3 years. So there's no telling. I mean, all it would take is somebody to buy this truck at auction, you put it up for sale because they're tight on money, whatever, some creepwad comes by, buys it, ships it across, and then there's no tracking.
I don't buy the 3 owners thing. I don't doubt that on paper 3 people probably had that in possession.
Well, it didn't say 3 owners. It just said owner to owner, as if it had transferred hands a few times.
Right. You get yourself a 250 at a rock bottom deal because you got it at an auction. Are you going to drive around for the next year and a half, 2 years, even, I don't know, a week with Mark One Plumbing on it?
Well, yeah. I think the more likely story is that at auction it was purchased by a shady guy.
Right.
But whoever auctioned off the car is a jerk for leaving the Mark I stuff on it. But I guess that gives it character. And
all about them ducats.
Yeah.
Losing steam here, Jake. What do we got?
I think I'm going to wrap this up unless there's something you guys just can't live without covering.
Nope.
I'm clicking on Incendiary Image of the Day just because I don't understand.
That's how Yukon Cornelius is from one of my favorite movies of all time, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Yeah, and he
Bubbles bounce!
Revolver.
He's thug life, man. What's the problem? You never mess with Yukon Cornelius.
Right. And it's a very valid point. I'm sitting here watching the 1964 Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and noticed Yukon Cornelius has a revolver in his belt. How we've slipped in as a society since then. You wouldn't even see a toy gun in a Christmas special nowadays.
Yep. Touche. I would just like to point out to the viewers and possibly some of the other people, if you look straight back in my corner over there, there is a Bumble from that movie sat next to a Charlie in the Box. I love that movie. I love that movie.
You're
All
so
right. Well, we are gonna actually skip the pick of the week this week. Save your picks for next week.
All right.
And let's talk a little bit about Patreon. Easy way for you guys to crowdfund This Week in Guns. You can give as little as $1 per episode, and if you give $1 per episode, we'll send you a This Week in Guns and Firearms Radio Network stickers. If you decide to pledge a little more, it's $7 level. It's our bug out bag level, where we'll send you supplies for your go bag every so often. And I've got some really cool cases and stuff for those. I'm not in here right now. I'll have to bring those out. I think they're MTM Case Guard, but they're like a survival small case that has a built-in compass and built-in like reflector for signals and everything. Hey, look at that. John has some full auto news stickers for This Week in Guns and Firearms Radio Network. Very cool.
Yeah, these are actually really nice stickers, man. They turned out awesome. I'm really excited to have some for myself and for some of my Patreon users as well. I mean, guys, you know, if you get $1 worth of entertainment out of this, which I'm pretty sure we just gave you about $300 worth, I mean that comedy is gold, especially off the cuff. It's like,
yeah, the fascinating portraits segment alone is worth its weight in gold.
It was just amazing. No, but on a serious note, if you guys get some enjoyment out of the show and you want it to keep happening, it's very easy to just support it. I mean, how many times do you give money to stuff just because, like you know, like, oh, let me just help this guy out. So let's say you give $20 to a buddy or whatever, and you can justify doing the same thing with This Week in Guns and the Firearms Radio Network and support something that not only is entertaining to you, but shows like this are good for the firearms community, the industry. I mean, it's a good thing for the Second Amendment. If I'm going to go out on a even farther limb, I mean, I think supporting good guys doing good things for firearms is a good way to spend your hard-earned money. That simple.
And if you decide to give it the $15 level, that's our huge battle box level where we send you a bunch of swag, including MS Clean kits from Peter Palma, Duluth Trading Company $50 gift cards, GunGoddess.com $25 gift cards, and Duke Cannon Supply Company limited edition U.S. military field box soap sets. Say that 10 times fast. Those are behind me in the video. You can see those Duke Cannon soap sets with 5 big-ass bricks of Manly soap in them, 3 times the size of your normal bars of soap. So yeah, check it out. Patreon.com/week will get you there. And John, why don't you tell us a little bit about the I'm with Chaos Patreon?
So the Patreon for my stuff is patreon.com/I'mWithChaos. That's kind of the running theme with all of what I do. It's about coming along with me, and you know, the Patreon thing is a chance for people out there, much like with this show, to support something that they enjoy. I spend a lot of time and a lot of effort and money on creating what I consider very, very high quality content, and in order for that to continue, I need some help from you guys out there that enjoy the content that I provide. I have some amazing swag going out to guys. I sent out a few batches. I've got hats of all kinds from all kinds of different manufacturers, brass from my reviews. I've got MS Clean kits. I've got the the X-Tech grips. So they're adjustable AR-15 grips at the higher levels. And every once in a while, I'll do a small giveaway and things like that for all my Patreon supporters, because I appreciate that guys decide, you know what, I like this guy's content so much that I'm going to give some of my hard-earned money to keep it coming. And that's what it's really all about.
And I forgot to mention, I have I'm with Chaos stickers for patrons on This Week in Guns as well. I totally forgot.
Yeah, dude.
You sent me those awesome stickers, so yeah. So let's talk about SHOT Shows coming up here soon.
Yes.
So we're going to all be out there in Vegas here about close to a month from now, right? A little, right at a month.
Yeah, a month from now.
So we're going to be checking out all the new stuff. We'll be back on This Week in Guns the week after SHOT to fill you in with all the cool stuff going on out there, and maybe we can even get together and maybe record a little bit while we're out there. We'll have to see how
that'd be fun.
Schedule hammers out.
Yeah, SHOT Show is going to be really interesting this year. I know. I'm pretty sure that all of us are going with a completely different perspective than we did in previous years, just because that's 1 year in the firearms industry as an independent reviewer and media creator will really change your perspective on stuff, and it's going to be a lot of fun, that's for sure. I can't wait to. I think it might be the first time that Jake and I meet in person. I don't think we've actually had a chance to meet in person. And I'll of course get to see my boy Whitey, like that guy's like family to me. So that'll be fun, and we're gonna have a great time out there, and I can't wait to get out there and shake hands and have the entire firearms industry at our disposal.
I thought you were going to say at our feet.
I wish. In time.
Yeah. Soon enough. So that about wraps up this show. You can leave your feedback by commenting on the bottom of the YouTube video or the bottom of the show notes. This week's show notes are at thisweekinguns.com/097, as well as all the links. You'll have to watch the Bulletproof Groin by Demolition Ranch. Great video. And yeah, so also please leave us an iTunes review, thisweekinguns.com/iTunes. Contribute to the show by shopping our Brownells affiliate and Amazon affiliate links. Check those out on thisweekinguns.com. And Josh, what do you guys have going on over at Four Guys Guns?
Oh, me? Well, Four Guys Guns is about to upload a couple more videos right in time for the Christmas holiday for the FGG members. FGG members gets you discounts on a bunch of really cool gear from very big names in the industry that we've built with relationships over the years. We also, of course, have the training and video and how-tos for those that are beginning or need a refresher or just wondering where to start before they hopefully go and take some courses. We also have a good list of trainers throughout the country that we've personally vetted so that we know it's not just a good training company or just someone that is NRA certified, but they are great experience via ourselves and associates and a vast majority of our huge Facebook following. Please check us out, fourguysguns.com. If you're interested in members, it's fourguysguns.com/join. $80 a year gets you readily available content streamable to both iPod, iPad, iPhone, and it's all in full quality HD. The discounts, the trainer locator. If you like the free stuff, well, that's when we do our reviews and things like that. So we have reviews. We even have a store right now. We're about to put CMC triggers back in stock. We just got our recent shipment, and we have some of the lowest prices on CMC, oddly enough, at $169. So you can get your single stage 3.5 pound flat bar trigger for $169. I mean, even Amazon has them at about that price. So can't really beat that.
That's an awesome trigger, by the way.
Very cool. And I'm not only the president of the Firearms Radio Network, I'm also a member of Four Guys Guns.
Jake absolutely is, and I hope he learns how to do a reload a lot better after these next videos go up.
Very cool. I'll have to check those out for sure. So, John, what's going on with the I'm With Chaos YouTube channel?
So the I'm With Chaos YouTube channel is turning the dial up and ripping it off. No, seriously, I am producing videos at an alarming rate behind the scenes. We just filmed 8 videos over the weekend.
Is that even legal?
No, one of the biggest things that I've had a tough time doing over the years is producing the amount of good content that I want, and I finally have a little bit of help behind the scenes doing so, and it's been huge. We've been able to create some really interesting things, expand the channel in ways that weren't previously possible, and little behind the scenes note, I'm going out tomorrow to film a Christmas special for you guys. It'll be out next week, early next week, and that should be a ton of fun. Now, another side note is I now have a super duper high speed camera at my disposal, so there is going to be all kinds of really, really neat slow-mo footage coming out of everything. I mean, the stuff we did over the weekend was ammunition testing, and we can fit that into so many cool things, and hopefully we'll get Whitey to come down, and we'll do some stuff together with FGG, and when Jake makes it out to the East Coast, we'll do some stuff. I mean, this year, 2015, the next year, is going to be amazing for I'm with Chaos. I'm really, really excited about it.
Awesome. Looking forward to it for sure. So that about wraps up this week's show. I'll have links to everything we talked about in the show notes. Thank you, John.
Thanks, Jake. Appreciate it, man. It's so much fun.
Thank you, Josh.
Jake, always a pleasure to be here.
And that's a wrap. We'll see remember, no show next week. Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
We'll see you in 2 weeks. That's a wrap.